Top news headlines from the news desk at the Katanning Paper right now on Radio for Your Neighborhood. AM 1380 and FM 103.7 WTYM Katanning Ford City.
Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome those in attendance to tonight's public hearing in regards to a proposed zoning ordinance amendment, number 01-2019. I'm Greg McKelvey, the Township Zoning Officer. Also at the table here this evening, we have our Township Supervisors, Dan Goldinger, Barry Peters, Dave Stewart, as well as Tyler Heller, who serves as our Township Solicitor. We also have Shannon Russo serving as a court stenographer with us tonight. I have left copies of the proposed amendment here at the corner of the table here for anyone who would like to pick up the exact language. At the September Supervisors meeting, we presented the request from the Planning Commission for an amendment, and it was authorized by the Supervisors. Since its adoption in 2008, the Planning Commission has periodically felt it necessary to amend the zoning ordinance to best represent the changing needs and technological advancements for its residents and businesses that operate within the township. An example that we talked about at last month's Supervisors meeting is the handling of digital display signs, which were once limited to 24 square feet, but eventually have had to increase to 48 square feet to serve technology and the needs of businesses. Specifically with this amendment, the Planning Commission is seeking to increase the square footage of a retail store within both the commercial and village districts. The ordinance currently limits the size of a retail store to 5,000 square feet in the C1 and village zoning areas. The proposed amendment would increase the square footage in both areas to 10,000 square feet. Now, if you would wish to testify, then please state your name and address for the record. Before we start, though, I would like Tyler, as our solicitor, was there anything else that you would like to add for the proceedings?
Just a procedural point. It's important that only one party speak at once because there's, as Mr. McKelvey noted, a stenographer present. And if, as he said, if you intend to testify, we ordinarily ask everyone who's going to testify to be sworn in at once so we don't have to repeat that process. So if there's any members of the public here who wish to be heard, please stand and raise your hand to be sworn by the court reporter.
Okay. You swear that the testimony you shall give us cause being heard is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Want to go up to the mic?
Please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Adam Zinzer. I'm an attorney here on behalf of the Pardinis who live at 106 Pence Road. We are objecting to the zoning amendment based on two bases. The first basis is, specifically before I start that, specifically we're objecting to the amendment as it relates to the village zoning district increase. The stated intent of the village residential zoning area found in section 413A of the zoning ordinance states that its intent is to sustain the vision for the township, maintain a village atmosphere, and not disrupt the character of existing neighborhoods. These intentions are to be accomplished through an emphasis on infill development, traditional neighborhood style housing, small-scale commercial development, focusing on personal services, home-based businesses, public buildings, and neighborhood parks. And it is a Pardini's position that this proposed change to the village zoning district will not satisfy the intent of the district as stated in the ordinance. The second objection relates to the genesis of the zoning change. It is the Pardini's position that This proposed change to the zoning district relates solely to the development of a Dollar General store that is actually to be located right across the street of the Pardini's property at 105 Pence Road, and that property is currently owned by a Chris Ramifications. The Pardinis would like to point out to the supervisors the minutes from the January 2019 Planning Commission meeting, wherein it was noted that companies such as Dollar General usually require 9,100 square feet buildings, and that it is a general consensus of the commission that the township would seek to accommodate the business development and may need to seek an amendment to the current zoning ordinance. That was back in January. In April of 2019, specifically April 22nd, Chris Romali, who was the chairman of the Planning Commission, stated that he was negotiating with Dollar General to buy his property at Pence Road, and that a change in the local zoning ordinance would be required to accommodate that transaction. Similar statements are found in the May 28, 2019 meeting, as well as the June 24th, 2019 meeting. So as I said before, the second position is that this zoning ordinance is being adopted solely to accommodate the installation of a Dollar General, which would not be keeping with the intent of the village zoning district as written in the ordinance.
With that, I guess I will add that just prior to the meeting this afternoon, we did receive a written correspondence, apparently from everything that the Pardini attorney mentioned here, but we are in possession of that, and that correspondence will be entered as part of the record. I guess with that, that concludes the public hearing.
Unless there's any further comment on behalf of the Planning Commission, I realize the supervisors
Yes.
Have the right to and sometimes do attend Planning Commission meetings, so they're probably aware of most of the discussions that happened at those meetings, but I know you're there as well, Mr. McKelvey, and if there's anything you need to add factually or substantively that should be part of the record, feel free to do so.
Yes. I mean, again, as I stated in the beginning, I've been instructed to bring this as far as the amendment by the Planning Commission, and that they feel that it is in the best interest of the zoning ordinance to increase the square footage for retail stores in those districts that I said, commercial #1 and the village district.
In making that recommendation, do you know if the Planning Commission considered the character of the neighborhood in general?
I'm sure that they would, yes.
Okay. I don't have anything else.
Okay.
They didn't desire another location in Cowansville, but that they weren't able to acquire that property, that's correct.
If you're responding to a particular retailer, they did seek, they have looked at other properties, is my understanding. None of those things have been privy to me. I have no paperwork or applications or anything from any retailers.
WTYM, Katanning Ford City, on the radio at AM 1380 and FM 103.7, and online at WTYMradio.com. Radio, computer, or smartphone. Stay connected to radio for your neighborhood.